What's up, everyone? Excuse me. It's JD Temple here from the Light of the Darkness. If you're new here, please subscribe. I would so freaking appreciate that one, let me tell you. And give this video a like. This is my follow-up video to my first at-home ketamine treatment with MINDBLOOM. It's an at-home ketamine therapy treatment to treat anxiety, chronic pain, and depression for those that experience what is known as treatment-resistant clinical depression, which is what I have. Really treatment-resistant bipolar depression. It can also treat chronic pain. So there's people that find relief through their chronic pain with ketamine as well. So for my first session, I had selected my own guide, which he is basically like an integration coach that I'll meet with. I think that the package includes meeting with him twice out of your 6 journeys, but you can choose to have integration with him after each session if you choose. And I think that I'm going to elect to do that because the integration is so important in any psychedelic medication, in any psychedelic journey. The integration is an integral part of really integrating the experience, to digesting the experience, to like unwrap that package that was presented to you during your journey, so that you can actually like delineate what happened and what some of this means, to have someone to kind of be a mirror to kind of reflect some things back to you, and to kind of pose some questions based on the insight that they've gained through what you're communicating to them based on your experience. So on that day, I was very nervous, of course, because I didn't know what to expect. And you have a heart rate monitor, and you got to check your heart rate, which is very important. We had to do this several times, and I had to really relax and chill out because my numbers were too high. My numbers were too high to even do it. And I was getting scared for a minute. I was like, shit, like, I know I've had high blood pressure before. I mean, I was told that years and years ago, but at that time I was doing a lot of stimulants and I wasn't telling anyone. So I wasn't surprised, and I figured that it was like a false positive based on the things that I was putting in my body. But now that I'm 43, right? Yeah, I'll be 44 in April. Believe it or not, it's crazy. What the hell? I could be getting up to that age to where I don't want to get on any medications, but let's face it, I got to start taking better care of myself. I can't be walking around like a walking heart attack or a walking stroke. And my numbers are a little high that night before we started, but I was able to get it down to the threshold that they needed just through calming myself, some breath work, and really relaxing just for like 10 minutes. I was able to get it down to where it needed to be. Once we did that, then I was given the green light to go ahead and start. I log off with the therapist, and then they tell you how much of the medication to take on the first dose, which for me was 500 milligrams. It was 250 milligram lozenges. These are the lozenges right here. So you can see I've taken 2 of them already. I got these left to go. You just put them on the inside of your cheeks, and you have to hold it there for 7 minutes and not swallow anything, and then just spit it all into a cup. And rinse your mouth out and spit it into a cup again. I did all that. You put some, meditation music on, and your nice little eye muffs there. And then you just lay back and go into it. So for me, someone that is very seasoned, veteran, and experienced of the psychedelic experience and the psychedelic journey, I will report that there was really nothing to note on this first journey, this first session at all. I found myself just kind of waiting to be taken on the ride the whole time. It was just totally black behind the eye mask. And I really didn't feel or sense really much of anything. I could feel a slight body buzz, but no detaching from my body. Nothing like what you would expect or come to expect from what you hear about ketamine from other people. So I figured, it's like, well, dang, I guess I wanted to mention too, when you do this, I'm going to get back to that other part. But when you do this, I would highly advise that you have a sitter with you. And you're supposed to have a trip, if you want to call it a trip sitter, with you for the hour-long experience. It's just going to check in on you every 15 minutes. And on your very first journey, your therapist must see this person and speak to this person, and they will ensure that that person has their phone number, so that if something goes wrong and they need them, they can get them right away during your first session. Because during your first session, you don't know what's going to happen, right? You're unfamiliar with the medication. You don't know how the medicine is going to react. You don't know where it's going to take you. You don't know if you're going to have difficulty. And you want that person there just to offer support, to offer, to console you if you're having difficulty, or to just remind you and let you know that everything's going to be okay and just to breathe. So Sarah's daughter Sagan did that for me. Thank you, Sagan. And she did a perfect job. She did everything I could have needed her to do. Luckily, I didn't have any issues. So she just kind of came downstairs and checked on me and saw me laying there and was like, okay, cool. And I think like the last time that she came down, I was already sitting up on the sofa with the eye mask off, being like, hey, you're good now. Nothing happened. And so after the session, I have 30 minutes to just kind of chill and journal about the experience. Then I meet with my therapist online again for another 30-minute session to talk about it, the integration session. And it was like 10 minutes before I was getting ready to get on with my guide, Steven, the emotions just hit me like a freight train. And I just started bawling and snotting and purging like crazy through the tears. And I started to realize that, like, whoa, I thought this was a nothing happened experience, but it was definitely not a nothing happened experience. Like, I had some, my intention going into this, and I do recommend for each and every journey that you set an intention for it. Anytime you do a psychedelic, you should be setting an intention for it. But especially in a therapeutic medication like this, setting an intention for it, what you want to get out of it, what you are wanting this medication and this medicine to give to you, whether it be healing or insight or both. And I had asked it to really help me get to the root core source of this depression, this anxiety that I've been going through. And while I didn't go anywhere, and I was right here on the sofa the whole time, it just all the emotion, this overwhelming emotion of the past 7, 8, 9 years of my life, and the things that happened and the things that I just have not processed or dealt with yet. Things revolving around the loss of my family, losing my marriage, losing my family home. I mean, I still have all of those things. They're there, but I'm not. My horrible drug addictions, the loss of my huge company that I had. 7 years ago, I had 30 employees. Now I have one. Things look quite different there with that. And it's all because of my recklessness. my mental illness and self-medicating, doing my best to self-medicate, to try to be a Superman and try to be everything to everyone for so long. And I crashed and burned in the process in trying to do that. Not only did I lose my marriage and my children, I also lost my big company. And a lot of the security that I had built for myself and for my family up until that point was all gone. The relationships with my children, not knowing and not really understanding what they think and how they feel about what has happened. And because we haven't really talked about it yet. They're still young, but they're getting older. And I know that they do remember. Of course they do. They remember me being there, and they know I'm not now. And it's those things that like hit me every day. Because there's nothing more important than that. Your children, the people that you love, your family, the people that love you. Boy, we can take it for granted. You can take them for granted. It's so easy to take them for granted, especially if you get all fucked up on drugs and you're not thinking right. You're just living in the moment. Maybe in psychosis quite a bit and not even realizing it because of the drugs, or even just because of your mental illness, or the two of them combined together, which is a really, really crazy mix, and which is what I was going through, drug-induced psychosis, but also having psychosis from being bipolar, having depression, and man, you can imagine what I was to deal with. Just the shame and the guilt for having destroyed something so beautiful and so precious and so important. And like, how could I not see it? How could I not see what I was doing? I don't know. I don't have an answer for you there. I was just really caught up is all I can say. Sometimes when you're out there and you're so detached from reality, you begin to create a new one. You begin to create one that your drug addiction and your psychosis are comfortable in being in. And actual reality becomes so secondary and so mundane and so beneath you. Beneath a crazy drug addict. Okay, yeah. But that's like how I felt, and that's what happened, and that's what this session brought up. This session brought that up. It went to the root, and it showed me. Like a lot of what's really getting to me and really what's bothering me, and knowing what I need to do. Focusing on my children. Trying to make things right for everything that I've done wrong. Loving them and being there for them, going to all of their activities and everything that they're doing, and like actually being engaged and knowing what's going on in their life. Just going out in nature with them and doing whatever, doing art projects with them and stuff we love to do. Like that's the important things. And of course, I texted my ex-wife and told her how sorry that I was. How very sorry that I was for everything that I had done and for hurting them like I did. I don't know that I can ever forgive myself. Although she really wants me to. I just find it really hard to do that. And it's not really like that. It seems like many of them are even in pain. I'm the one that's in pain. They're doing great. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad. But I guess I'm just not done punishing myself over this yet. And maybe when I am, I'll begin to get better. And I'm really hoping that that home ketamine treatment is going to help me with that. I really am good at locking things deep away down in there. And it takes some serious doing to access those things and to unlock them and to be able to delineate what's going on. So after the first session, spoke with the therapist, went over everything. Talked to him about some other weird things, like I get this weird notion when I do ayahuasca or dimethyltryptamine, and now I guess ketamine too. It gave me this same strange inclination. And it's one that I grapple with. Like, is it actually reality? Because, like, I do feel in so many ways that I am already dead. And that, like, the communication that people have with me is not real. That it's just it's spirit, or it's their imagination. That I used to be here once and people do remember me for that. That everything that they're seeing now, all the interaction that they have with me now, is just them thinking about me and me coming to them in spirit and delivering messages to them. As crazy as that sounds, because I'm sure you're seeing me on a fucking screen right now, and I look like I have a body, and I feel like I have one, and I think that I do. It's those notions that will really send you going down the rabbit hole, but it seems so real. And in many ways, I guess it's just a big metaphor. Coming out of the first session, I had to take more blood pressure readings. My blood pressure was quite elevated, and I had to send the pictures to my therapist on that. And before we could set the second dose and start the second session, which typically we can go right into, the clinician wanted to see me again, talk about my blood pressure, making sure that I'm okay, making sure that I'm not going to get into any danger. MINDBLOOM is really on the ball about this, making sure that you're doing it safely. And I really respect and admire that about this company. And I want to tell you that everyone I've dealt with here at MINDBLOOM is fucking amazing. Arden, my clinician, she is top notch. Steven, my counselor, my therapist, journey guide, he's fucking, I picked a good one. I just felt his energy out, psychically felt him. Yep, that's him right there. And yeah, couldn't have asked for a better guy. So, I've done everything that they advised me to do. The day of treatments, you really want to avoid alcohol, caffeine, cannabis, any type of benzodiazepines. And one of the reasons is you really want to focus on taking advantage of that neuroplasticity, that increased brain neuroplasticity that you have during the session and after the session. And I know I'm having a beer now. I'm trying to limit that. This is something that the ketamine is going to help me with too. Because, I do enjoy alcohol too much. Not a lot, not in excess, but it's pretty daily, And that's not what I want either. But I met with the clinician. I'm set to do my second journey on Saturday. I'm just waiting to go in through the app and to see what the dosing is, what she recommends my dosing is. So from this point forward, I'm going to take it on my own, and I will just be responding through the app. If they have, any concerns, then they'll want to meet with me before they allow me to continue on to subsequent journeys. I've been journaling about it. That's something that they send you in your Bloom box too, is a journal. I've been journaling. So, I have high hopes for this, man. I just want to get back to being me. I want to be able to run around and handle 10 things at a time and multitask like the master that I am, or that I used to be, that I know that I still am. I will in a minute, sweet boy. I know. I know. I love you. But anyway, that's what's up with my first ketamine experience. While it was a nothing happened experience, it was rather monumental. And I will say that my mood is a little bit better already. A little bit. So that's something, right? It's definitely not nothing. I'll take it. I'll take an inch at a time, whatever it takes. But I love you guys, and thanks for being here. I'll keep you abreast of how the rest of my journeys go and how the rest of this process unfolds. If any of you are interested in at-home ketamine treatment, I highly recommend MINDBLOOM. Check out MINDBLOOM. They've got great payment options, and it should be at a price point, hopefully, that many of you can afford. Insurance doesn't cover this, so this will be an out-of-pocket expense for you. But for many people that are experiencing chronic pain or going through situations of treatment-resistant clinical depression, then this could be for you. So check it out. Smell my face. Smell it good. Catch you on the flip side. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Weird statistic, only 50% of people that watch this channel are subscribed to the channel. That's typically most channels. But I ain't having that shit around here. So, if you would please subscribe for your boy, I would appreciate that a great deal. Because we're trying to get the numbers up and grow this channel in 2024. It's been 7 years, and I'm better than that shit. I'm just kidding. I'm just kind of frustrated about it. But anyway, that means I just got to work harder. I know. And I shall. Love you. See you later. Bye.